Hey, my name is Dan. I used to work in the biggest dealership in the country. Now I teach fine folks like you how not to get fucked when buying a car. Now in this video, I want to talk about SUVs that lost the most amount of money, that depreciated the most in 5 years. SUVs are actually going upwards in sales, so they do retain more of their value comparing to sedans or even sports cars. However, these are the worst ones. I mean, tell me if you can see a pattern here at the end of the video, and I'll tell you a couple of conclusions that I drew from the research that I have done, okay? The research I have done, it's from Consumer Reports, just between us, okay? All right, so number one is gonna be Escalade. It's down by 60%, and the reason it's down by 60% is because they had some serious problems with infotainment and some other problems. Overall, Escalade is actually not that bad. It's a big floating land yacht that you can still get into and carry your family around and get absolutely horrific gas mileage. It's not that bad of a car, except they had some problems with infotainment and a few other things. That's why people are selling these things like hotcakes. And if you're gonna be buying one, lowball the shit out of the dealership that's selling these, because they know if they don't sell it quick, the price is only gonna go down. Next one is gonna be Volvo XC60. The reason this one lost 60% of its value, very simple, because there are better options out there. Volvo is not a super reliable car, especially that now they're making their cars in China. So, I mean, draw your own conclusions. If you're wanting to buy a mid-size or small-size SUV or a crossover, are you sure you want to buy a Volvo when there are better cars out there? Next one is going to be GMC Yukon XL. I know you might be thinking like, Dan, GMC isn't like a Chevy. Well, for an average price of $67,000, I would consider that a luxury car. And the reason that GMC Yukon is on this list is because it lost 62% of its original value, bringing it down to $26,000 that you can buy this thing on the market right now. $26,000. Kind of cool, huh? With about 60,000 miles. Next one is going to be Lincoln MKX, and it's going to be the only SUV that I would recommend buying out of all of this entire list. This thing lost 62% of its original value. It's a very comfortable ride. It's a good SUV. So if you're looking to buy one, get it. It's a good buy. Next one is going to be BMW X6. Not only this thing exists, not only it exists as an ugly car, but somebody actually bought it. Some people buy this ugly looking car. It's not an SUV. It's not a sedan. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's like, it's horrible. It is ugly as shit. And it lost 62% of its original value. I mean, what do you expect? Next one, Escalade ESV. So it's just a regular Escalade that got stretched out. It's huge. I don't know why it exists. I mean, 62% depreciation in first 5 years. It's absolutely horrific. It's huge. I don't know what people were thinking when they were designing this thing. Hey, let's just stretch this motherfucker out. Next one is going to be BMW X1. Another BMW. What do you expect? They're going to depreciate. Hell, and this one depreciated 62%. What happens with BMWs? People lease them. After 3, 4, 5 year lease, nobody wants that thing because they know how much it costs to repair that. So the first thing that people are doing when they're realizing, holy shit, my lease is about to be over, nobody is continuing to buying out those cars. They're turning them back in and getting a brand new car. Next one is going to be Lincoln Navigator, which is actually a really good deal. Actually, this is the second car that I'm going to recommend from Lincoln, and second car from this list completely, because I mean, the other two options, you're going to be surprised by what they are. Okay, so if you're looking to buy a big SUV, this thing has lost 63% of its total value. It's a good buy. Look into it. If you need a ginormous SUV, look into it. Next one is going to be BMW X3. Another BMW. It's a horrible SUV. It's bad. It's a sedan that was turned into a wagon that then grew into a SUV. It's something on steroids. It's some kind of a wagon on steroids. It's not a SUV because it doesn't handle like SUV, it doesn't have the off-road capabilities of SUV, but then it gets gas mileage of SUV and it's big like a SUV, so it's not economical like a sedan. It's a weird ass hybrid type of deal. I don't even know what the fuck to call this thing. Next one, BMW X5, the legendary BMW X5. Again, the reason this thing is not staying up where it should be staying, it's a German car, it's a luxury car, it should retain its value. But the reason this thing plummeted 65%, because the parts are hella super fucking expensive, because the car is unreliable. That's why. Like, who is gonna be in their right mind driving this thing past 60,000 miles? Like, don't buy any of these cars. The reason I made this list is so you guys can look at this list here and consider, hey, maybe there's a pattern here, you know? There's BMWs, Ford, and Chevy. Could there be anything, any conclusions I can draw from this? I don't know. Maybe don't buy these cars, except one or two which don't have problems. Most of these cars are depreciating so hard because they're very expensive to repair. Cadillac is not cheaper to repair. BMW is not cheap to repair. You know, I think I made my point here. If you guys disagree or if you guys agree, let me know in the comment section below. Give me thumbs up or give me thumbs down. Like, literally, I'm not gonna get disappointed by any, but I want to hear your honest, you know, opinion. What do you think about this? Hey, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up below and click the subscribe button over my head, or watch one of those two videos if you want to see more money saving tips about cars. This is Dan with 60 Minute Car. I'm signing out and I'll see you on the internet.